Fan, short for fanatic, is the one who's screaming their lungs out in sub-zero degree temperatures, still believing when the chips are down, and never, ever giving up on their teams or their players. From the closest seat to the worst one, we want to meet you all. This is the American Fan.
What's going on, sports fans? It's Josh Williams back again with another episode of the American Fan 365 podcast. As you can hear, my voice is slowly returning. It's been a while. It's been a sickly month and a half, bro. Like,
it has.
For real.
I feel for you.
Yeah, I don't know what's been going on, but you know what I mean, slowly and surely, we're getting stronger. The show's getting stronger, even though Marcus isn't here today, and then Sean Merriman got a case of some cold news. So but excited for another episode. Excited to be here with the bearded one, George. George, we're gonna get into that, but how are you doing today, George?
I'm doing pretty phenomenal, man. Pretty phenomenal. I was able to put the Saints loss past me yesterday. I think I finally got over it. Because they played on Thursday, so it was just a lot of grieving over the weekend. My brother won, so San Jose State has now gotten 4 wins.
What's the record?
They're 4-4.
Oh, okay.
Or 4-5. No, 4-4. So they have 3 more games, and they have to win 2 of the next.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
To
make it to a bowl.
Yeah. They got
tough sledding. They got UNLV and Fresno State, 2 teams at the top of the Mountain West right now.
Oh.
So they have to defeat one of the Giants. Then they got San Diego State and Hawaii this week.
Okay.
So my parents are going to Hawaii on Thursday. Oh, nice.
Oh, that's dope.
It is. They went the first year where my brother wasn't even playing. He was just redshirting. my parents are like, I think we'll make that one.
Want to support the team.
Of course.
We're going to wear the colors, support the colors.
That's so funny.
Dad, you're supporting Hawaiian vibes.
Apparently, Southwest did a really good deal. They got
really?
$370 round trip tickets.
Oh, that's great.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that is great. That is really good. But man, yeah, no, it's crazy week.
For you?
Oh yeah, we're not gonna get into that. Your boy was extorted, but we ain't gonna talk about it.
Wow. Oh, is that a little bit what you're talking about back there?
No.
That's been going on for a while.
Wait, what were we talking about back there?
The church.
Oh, no. This was to me, but no, we ain't gonna get into that.
All right.
Not on the show.
Reach out to Josh via DM to find out.
Definitely not. I'm taking it to the grave. Only one person knows. I was able to laugh about it. We'll move on.
Nice.
Texas Rangers, George, are officially 4 wins away from George. How much are you getting? We got to talk about this every week until it is complete.
It's 1,600 at the moment. It was 1,200. Okay. Then the playoffs started, and then before they ever played a game in the ALDS, I bet extra money on the exacta on both sides. So no matter who wins tonight, Phillies or Diamondbacks, I chose the Rangers to defeat them on top of my $1,200 bet. So I'm returning 1,600 right now. I will tell you, if they fall behind in this World Series, I am not hedging. I've gone this far. I will, at the time, the odds will probably inflate again. I will fucking quadruple down on the Rangers to come back to win. Wow. See if I can get it to $2,000 payout.
Wow.
I think that's what I'm looking for.
I don't want that stress for you.
You don't? Yeah.
I mean, unless it's 0-1.
Dude, here's the thing.
It's 0-2.
On Friday, I thought it was over. On Friday, I'm driving to go announce the last football game of the season, right? Yeah. And I'm watching the game play out, and then I see that we walked a batter and then hit by pitch, and then Jose Altuve came up when they were down by 2.
Yeah.
And I just knew. I've seen enough baseball, and it's crazy the way that the studs in big-time moments step up. I was like, oh, Jose Altuve is about to hit a 3-run home run. And then, sure enough, that little motherfucker, his bat is bigger than he is, So I thought it was over then, because then, we needed to win 2 in a row, and I was pretty out of hope. And then, bang, bang. That one last night wasn't even a question.
It was not 11-4. So I watched the first inning. Mm-hmm. So it was 3-0, and then when it got to 3-1, I turned it back off and I had something else to do. I was like, I can't even watch this. It's too much stress. I was pulling for you from a distance.
I appreciate the amount of support that I have gotten for this. I am so happy. I feel like, you picked the right one, and like you've been dating people that have been shitty your whole life, and you finally find a girl that is like good to you, and everyone's like, I'm just happy for you. I'm just watching the way this goes, right? That's how it feels.
Yeah, because you don't have a baseball team.
Not this year, no.
Yeah, so you could legitimately do this without any harsh feelings about your fandom or towards yourself.
Oh yeah, no.
This is great. You're in, like, trust me. This would be torturous if this was my team. It's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna put money on my team, and then like this actually came to pass.
Yeah.
I would be falling apart.
Right.
I'd be excited and
very good point. Very good point, Josh.
In a bad way. But we are going to be talking mostly about NBA today, so we're going to fly through the NFL today a little bit. We might do some picks, maybe like the main games, Thursday night, Sunday night, and Monday Night Football. But let's talk about some thoughts from Week 7. We had Cutman Tate in the building at the end of last week's episode, and that was hilarious.
So funny.
It's just not me. George knows it's me off camera, but it's not me on here. So
here's the thing, Josh. You can't beat yourself over. This man literally just came in and was like, "Oh, I am going to cause fucking havoc," like a little kid at flipping out. You know what I mean? Like he just sees all the. He's given all the trampolines in the world. Of course he's going to jump on them. And he went and just annihilated every team. What do you have to say? Trash.
Hey, listen, I said on one of the clips, I was like, bro, we're getting you shirts that says your team's trash.
Cutman Tate saying, yeah. Just an image of him yelling it.
We have to get shirts made of him saying that. That's actually a really good shirt. But
with the Commanders, same team, different name.
Yeah, same new name, same outcome. Or
trash.
Yeah, trash. yeah. That was uncalled for. Have the Philadelphia Eagles finally arrived, George?
Yeah.
I think it's legit.
I think AJ Brown is on a one-way path to like wide receiver stardom, like putting him in the list of the greats. That body type and just like what he's able to do on the field, he makes it look effortless. He's not like Tyreek Hill excitement, but he's just so fucking consistent. It's crazy.
So last year, it was still an argument between, DK Metcalf, Terry McLaurin, AJ Brown.
Right.
Then last year happened, it was like, Jesus Christ, who the heck is AJ Brown? AJ Brown's really out here. And then now looking at it again, like what he did to us, like what he did to the Commanders to basically pull the Eagles to winning that game, because we were winning that game. And then he just went off. And it was like, like somebody cover AJ Brown. Like maybe let's think about it. Let's try maybe something. And but what he did this past weekend versus the Dolphins again, big time moment. Because like I feel like Devontae Smith, he gets those like kind of improbable catches, like where it's like, oh, that was a great catch, maybe more highlight catches. But like AJ Brown, man, like he scores back-breaking touchdowns in big moments.
Yeah.
He does a lot of, the things that win you games. You know what I'm saying?
And the Eagles, I would say up until the last couple of weeks, just proved that they didn't need to do that. Like their run game, their ability to win without using their like star players. This is where I saw a little bit of frustration from Devontae Smith because he knows he's playing second fiddle now. But Devontae Smith on 60% of other NFL teams would be wide receiver number one.
Yeah.
They don't need to use him. And I think AJ Brown and Devontae Smith will start getting a lot more touches in the second half of the year because I think that offense, it still has room to open up. They haven't shown much other than they're going to hit you in the mouth.
They're going to get
downhill.
to freaking third and 1.
And then you're going to feel like how everybody feels playing Air Force, where it's just like, they're going to get it.
God, I wanted Sean on today to talk about the daggone brotherly shove. I really wanted to talk about that because I really wanted to get analysis from not only a football player, but a defensive lineman about what that's like. What is that? Is that a proper play? Do they need to take it out? I really did want that insight because I freaking hate it. And they're not going to be happy until someone's neck snaps on the field. Then it's like, let's hold hands for Jason Kelce. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, nah, bro. Man, like you're putting these people in horrible positions and then, you know what I mean? But it's okay because we're getting the first downs, but let's take a real look.
But this is a thing that happened to them in the Super Bowl. They ran that shit a little too much, right? And then you forget that, oh, I have A.J. Brown. Oh, I have Devontae Smith. Oh, I have Jalen Hurts, who actually is a really good passing quarterback. Like, I think I saw that from him this past weekend against the Dolphins, and I was very much so impressed. I was like, I hope he doesn't lose this side of him, that Oklahoma, I'm throwing the ball 55 times a game, like gunslinger, you know what I mean? Like, it's still in a part of his repertoire, but he hasn't needed to use it.
Yeah.
And he's actually really good when he does use it. So hopefully the Eagles now start piecing both things together and just annihilate teams. Because I think the 49ers have shown some cracks.
There's definitely some cracks.
It was those two teams going into this past week, and then it's like, oh, wait a second.
Yeah. And look, listen, we always said that the Vikings weren't this bad. Mm-hmm. I wish I would have bet because I would have bet the Vikings this week because I just felt it. And I don't know why I felt it, but I felt it.
It's weird because it's a primetime Kirk Cousins game, but you almost feel like the pressure is more so on the 49ers.
Yes. 1,000%. 1,000%.
Yep.
Also, before we get off the Eagles traded for safety Kevin, but is it Byard? It is Byard, right? Mm-hmm. I've only known him off of Madden. I don't ever hear the child's name. Yeah, I like before I mispronounce his name.
One of the only good players from the Titans.
Yeah, yes, and like, you know, all-pro-esque. Like he's that good, and they got him for Edmonds and a bag of chips. I think it was a 5th and a 6th.
Yeah.
Like
that's a team that the front office knows what they're doing. If there aren't some winning teams making like big-time player trades here soon, you just feel like, what are we doing? You know what I mean? Like, let's not get picks. I feel like if Byard's gone, somebody's going to get Henry soon. Possibly.
Who needs a running game like that?
Buffalo.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah,
that's fair.
But you just maybe not see that in not in division, in conference.
That's trades. True too.
But crazy how they got him.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just tired of it's like the Lakers in the NBA. Like, it's like, bro, how do they keep finding money? Like, are we all playing with the same salary cap?
It's all fake, bro.
Like, it's stupid. It's like, we still got some extra money. I'm like, how? My team's over here pinching pennies talking about something like, I don't know if we can sign everybody. I'm like, who's everybody? Who is everybody?
There was a show I had over the summer with Vic, who's a Madden player. And we talked about salary cap because it was in the middle of the summer. You know, everyone's fucking discussing how to spend this money. He's like, all the teams that have no money are good. All the teams that have all the money are really bad. Cap space is a myth. 100% a myth.
Yeah. Listen, I'll tell you on Madden, I have some of the best cap management you'll ever see in your life because I identify who's going to be a problem for 10 seasons.
Yep.
And we strap him in early, like, oh, you're a 73 overall. I know what you're gonna be. Here, take this bag of dirt and go ahead about your business.
And we'll renegotiate in 2045.
There will be no negotiation. Oh my God. All right, George. Are the Lions still a contender following their beating by the Baltimore Ravens?
That's a wake-up call that they needed. They made me say a thing that I didn't think I would say this year. Same old Lions.
Oh, wow.
Holy shit, right? And I was like, why did I say that? Like, they're good. But then I'm like, they haven't fucking done anything. You know what I mean? They haven't proved playoff wins. They haven't even proved playoff appearances. They have a lot more like proving to do this season.
Sure.
And I think this was the wake-up call that they needed to be like, all right, if you want to be great, you can't, first off, you can't get embarrassed like that.
Yeah.
But you need to go on a run here and win 12 games this season.
Yeah, listen, this is what a good team or a consistently good team looks like.
Yep.
The Ravens consistently are top echelon of the league, even when they're having bad seasons. I would kill for their bad season as a Commander fan.
Right.
Like, oh, we're so bad. You still had 10 wins. You calm down over there.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but the Lions, I will say, I don't know, maybe there's some, there's a little bit of shine lost on them being a Super Bowl contender or, really playing deep into the playoffs. But I think they're still definitely a contender for that NFC North title.
Yeah.
And they've done enough. I will say when you talk about proving, they've definitely done a lot in terms of showing that they're not going to take, weak teams lightly. They've been beating up on the teams they're meant to beat up on.
Yep.
This was one of their first tests, and they sadly flunked it.
Yeah.
Jameson Williams did nothing because I have him on one of my fantasy teams.
Oh no, the stats from this game were crazy. It was like the Ravens scored 4 touchdowns before the Lions even got a first down.
Wow.
That's when Cameron was typing that stat, I was like, seriously?
That's tough.
I was watching it, and here's the thing, even down 28-0, the Lions had like 3 possessions that they had the ball in the red zone, but they felt like they needed to go for it because they were down by so much. It's a weird spot to say take points early, but it like
helps.
It takes the pressure off the team. That 0 looks fucking daunting.
Yeah.
Especially when you go into the third quarter.
Yeah. No, 1,000%. You are 100% correct. Lions next games, Raiders, Chargers, Bears, Packers, and your Saints the first week of December. Out of those games, listen, the Raiders have shown that they can be a tough out. That is in Detroit. That's also this week's Monday Night Football game. They go on the road to the Chargers, who have been the Chargers. The Bears is a game they should win, especially being again at Ford Field. But the Bears, as they've shown, can put up a little bit of a fight. They've got some teeth. The Packers also in Detroit should win, but Packers have been solid. And then your Saints.
Yeah. That's a tough game to play. Tough game to play in the Dome once Jameis Winston is about 4 starts deep.
You guys had some good memes this week. There was some good memes that came out of that Thursday Night Football game.
Holy garbanzo beans. The thing that got me is that I've been saying check down Carr for like 3 weeks, and then Al Michaels on the Thursday Night Cast is checking down again. It's like, I was like, they know. They must be watching Gridiron Junkies. But it's not hard to tell, bro. It's literally, they watch all those games in preparation. Trash. Our coaching staff has definitely lost the locker room.
You think so?
Yeah, there's too many moments where Derek Carr is yelling at Pete Carmichael, our offensive coordinator.
It's not good.
And I'm like,
not good.
Motherfucker, you aren't Brady. You aren't Aaron Rodgers. You aren't Peyton Manning. Like, shut your fucking ass up.
You're Derek Carr.
And listen.
Yeah, you're Derek Carr. And then second question from that game, George, are the Ravens finally ready to separate themselves from the rest of the pack?
No, this is the Ravens do Ravens things. There's no the way you're smirking right now. Go ahead. Because there's nothing else. The Ravens will lose games that you're like, how the fuck did this happen?
Well, and they'll be in dog fights that you're like, why is this a dog fight?
Why is Justin Tucker kicking a 68-yard field goal to win the game right now? You were up by 12.
I guess we're going to overtime. I mean, look, listen, the offense looked electric versus the Lions, but it has not proven to do that consistently.
Yeah.
Lamar showed what we want to see from Lamar. Like, that is the reason why he has an MVP. Like, Lamar Jackson is a problem when everything is locked in, but there's a lot of games where it's, they'll have 3 good drives and that's enough to put them in position for the win, but then they'll have like 8 that weren't good. So it's like what happened on those 8 is really the determining factor on the game.
Mm-hmm.
For real. You know what I'm saying?
Lamar does this thing where it's the ultimate drive killer things where he made a lot of the throws that he needed to on third downs that were wide open, but it happens consistently. Like it was just on the money this game, but just watch on specifically when he rolls out how he just flat out misses people, and it makes you wonder like he doesn't have that component. Like the Lions are a dog shit defense. I knew that going in. I knew this game was going to be high scoring.
They've also been hurt. Remember, they've lost a couple corners. They lost Gardner Johnson in the back half, and I want to say they lost one of their linebackers. Like they've lost people from all 3 levels.
Yeah, Alex Anzalone. I can't stand to see this dude continue to play football. So he was the one that got the start over, I think, like Jack something. They had drafted a linebacker who's a rookie. But he's out, and Alex Anzalone it's
a former Saint.
Looks like baloney.
It's a former Saint.
I know.
That's where that hate's coming from.
Yeah.
Hey, that's coming from a personal place.
It's just like when he like bites on a run and they run a play action and you see the tight end go right behind him and you see the long hair just flip back around to see him. I completely missed my assignment. It just looked weak. I don't know.
His play recognition on Madden is not up to snuff.
Let me ask you this one, Josh. Are you tired of seeing Taylor Swift stuff at these Chiefs games?
Yes. I mean, like, look, listen. It's just cringy. It's cringy. And I don't really feel like, you know how certain things just give you the ick?
Yeah.
It's like, come on, man.
Right.
Like, because, okay, I'll put it to you like this, right? You know how many bad chicks are married to NFL players?
A lot.
You know how many times we see them on Sunday high-fiving, hugging babies, kissing people, slapping butts in the stands? Never. And not to say that they're not Taylor Swift, because obviously it makes sense. She's bringing millions of eyeballs to the sport, which is a good thing. But listen, it could literally just be what they do when they show other celebrities. Like, oh, George Carmona's in the building tonight. And like, it's George, getting to a seat, getting a hot dog. That's literally all that needs to be done or said. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't have to be a cut to the Swifties like every week. You know what I mean? That's they're overcooking their grits. It's a little upsetting.
Yeah. And it's making me start to think like, Travis Kelce, I thought, was just on the right path. You know what I mean? His ex-girlfriend, I think, is 10,000 times hotter than Taylor Swift. Agreed?
Well, on the one hand, she's part of the black delegation, so I have to say yes. On the other hand, Taylor Swift has a lot of Swifties, so if they do get a hold of this, I don't know I know the Beehive, they throw up bees on people's stuff. This could get a lot of breeze emojis. I don't know how that works.
I'm just, bro, I look at Taylor Swift's little hot dog legs and I'm like, what is she going to do at a club? Like Travis Kelce likes sustenance in front of him. You know what I mean? Like he's going to go and he's going to be like, oh, this is bony. You know, this is... Bees.
These aren't the yams I remember. Well,
this needs salt.
Oh my God. All right. Well, what can we do? What can be done from this situation? I don't see there's anything that we could do.
Epic breakup. And then I just can't, it's going to happen.
That is 1,000% what we could do. Listen. Call 1-800-THE-AMERICAN-FAN-365 and let us know if you got like a bad black chick that we could send towards Kansas City to descend upon Travis Kelce. That is what we can do. That is the only way.
Yes.
George, that's the only way that we can get out of this hell that
we need to team up with Drewski and do a could have been records in Kansas City. And just
could have been Ma'ato's baby mama.
Something like that.
Oh my God. All right. Let's switch gears. We're gonna take the last 30 minutes or so of the show to talk just about the NBA. And before we get started with the NBA, I have to give some shout out and give some love to our sponsor, CocoLove. Our NBA segment today is brought to you by our friends at CocoLove, the beverage of choice of the American Fan 365. Head over to www.cocolovewater.com for your own case of coconut refreshment and use the code TAF365 for your discount on Hawaiian Beach vibes. So,
cheers
make
to
sure,
that.
make sure you get you some CocoLove. It is delicious. I can actually, I don't have to save this because Marcus didn't come in, so I'm gonna go ahead and switch over to can number 2 for the day. But George, before we get started, we got to talk about Giannis signing. Giannis Antetokounmpo yesterday re-signed 3 years, $186 million, or AKA $62 million per season.
Wow.
And George, I was like, how old is Giannis now? I looked it up. Giannis is 28. So Giannis is going to get like 3 more of these. Easily. He's at least going to get 2 more.
Isn't that just...
So when he hits 31, bro, and think about it, when he hits 31, that CBA, the new CBA is going to be in effect. So who knows what the contracts are going to be at that point. It might be up to 90 million, 100 million a season for the top guys in the league. Like,
yeah,
it's going to be stupid. So
I just looked up the GDP of Greece because I know, like, real talk, after all that money, like, I think Giannis will be able to purchase like a solid 40% of Greece.
Wow. Shoot.
With endorsements tied in there, yeah, the GDP of Greece is like 200, or I think it said $12 trillion or something.
Oh, okay.
So
he can definitely buy him a Greek island, or
yeah.
I believe, and he's Nigerian, I believe, right? That's his family's lineage.
No, it's Greece.
No. His family is from his family immigrated to Greece and then actually took on a Greek name.
Got you.
Yeah. No, I want to say it's Nigerian. I can't remember, but shout out to Giannis. Shout out to the Bucks. Listen, if he can remain a Buck for life, I love seeing it. You love seeing what the Warriors have built with Steph Curry. Hopefully Klay Thompson returns as well. Draymond Green, what they built out there. There's a few guys in the league that have stayed with their team the whole time. Joel Embiid right now, even though he's going through a lot of trade allegations. But shout out to the Greek Freak, definitely.
Big time contract, dude.
Yeah, 3 years, $186 million. George, let's go ahead and go through a league rundown, and let's just talk about each team. We'll just go in order from last season, and talk about if the team's going to be better or worse this season. So,
all right, starting
off in the Eastern Conference, those same Bucks, they were 58-24 last year. Additions this year were Damian Lillard, Malik Beasley, Robin Lopez joins his brother Brook. And then the subtractions were Jrue Holiday, Jevon Carter, Grayson Allen, Joe Ingles, Wesley Matthews, and I didn't even realize Goran Dragic was still in the league.
didn't know that either.
Yeah, I was like, Goran Dragic was still in the league? Derrick Rose dunked on him a long time ago.
Yeah, that's funny as fuck. They're going to be better. I think they had
better than 58, so they're approaching record territory.
Yeah. No, I mean, the record is 73. Okay, so I don't think they're going to get record, but I do see them as a 65-win team. I think they are very, very disappointed with the way that things shook out last year, and I think the Dame addition, fuck, dude. I want him. Like, Damian Lillard has been the most sought-after player for the last 3 years.
Shoot,
like,
maybe more.
Yeah, because it just seemed like every year, like, oh, I guess I'll just stay in Portland, and it's like, damn. Yeah. Okay, you better make the playoffs. Make some cool shit happen. Hasn't really happened. Now that he's with a contender, this is going to be a very, very, very tough team to beat in the East. I think you're going to hear them all year. Top number 1 seed for sure, and then why not them win the title? Like,
I think we've talked about it before. Listen, the pick and roll between him and Giannis is going to be very, very scary.
Yeah, Giannis can't. He doesn't play that role necessarily as much anymore, right?
No.
I'm going to take the ball down court, kind of clear it out.
Oh, no, he has, and that's the reason why they get stuck in the playoffs, because you can key on that.
100%.
And then when there's no Chris Middleton out there to stretch the floor, you're stuck twice. So now it becomes like basically Damian Lillard with his scoring ability shifts that entire team. You know what I mean? Just in terms of what they can do offensively. Now they do lose a little bit defensively because Jrue Holiday was a great defensive player.
Yep.
But Jrue Holiday didn't have the ability to go get you 30 every night.
Yep.
So it's I don't know. It's for me, it's going to be interesting. I think they're definitely right there. I think it's going to come down to between them and let's talk about the next team, your Boston Celtics.
Yes, sir.
The Celtics were 57-25 last year. This offseason they added Kristaps Porzingis, Lord, my Wizards, and the aforementioned Jrue Holiday.
Yeah.
Now you guys did lose. I didn't realize you lost all these people. I knew you lost some. You lost Marcus Smart, Malcolm Brogdon, Grant Williams, and Robert Williams.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that you guys lost Robert Williams.
That was the one that I'm most upset about.
And so when I saw that kind of brings it a little bit back more into focus for me because Kristaps is great and Kristaps will be able to do more things than Robert Williams could. But defensively,
yeah, dog.
Robert Williams was a dog and he could take people away from the game. Like he could take, your big that was a problem.
He was literally our answer to the Bucks.
Yeah.
And now we have no answer to the Bucks.
Yep.
Al Horford. Like, are we really joking?
Yeah,
like,
well,
come on,
Al's getting a little long in the tooth.
Oh, yeah, no, more than long in the tooth. The dude is slow on defensive rotations. Let's not Robert Williams was so much fun to watch. Where'd he end up? He ended up.
I don't know. We'll get to him.
We'll touch on it.
We'll get to him. I got him down here. I don't remember
the
where
Celtics. I will say right now will perform worse, but it's going to be like one of those things where they make the playoffs at like a 7 seed or a 6 seed.
You got them falling that far?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah.
No. I think the Celtics will still be a top 3. Now, remember, this last season, it was them and the Bucks. They were only separated by 1 game.
Yep.
If you're saying the Bucks get to 65, I think the Celtics still get to 55.
Okay.
So if they get worse, it might be a game or two, especially because, Kristaps is going to have to take his maintenance month.
Yep.
So that's going to happen.
I'm just we've made deep runs, and I know what that does. Like, I know that we were still buying into our coach's process at the end of last year in some of the most important games that we played. It's going to have this like little bit of residual effect of, okay, we know we can make it there. The system somewhat works. But I think the Celtics, more so than the Bucks, have the big target on their back.
Yeah.
Like, we're circling the Celtics. Everybody circle the Celtics. Let's try to beat them. And that's a tough call to answer. I said like 6, 7 seed. I mean, you're looking at a 6, 7 game difference. Like of them probably getting like 49 wins, 40.
Wow, you have them
8
winning
wins.
that few games. Next up, the Sixers, Philadelphia 76ers last season were 54-28. In the offseason, they added my protege. I coached him, Mr. Kelly Oubre Jr., Mo Bamba, Pat Bev, Danny Green. They subtracted basically Georges Niang, so that was it. We're still waiting to see on James Harden. So.
There's no way he's playing for him. Have you heard any? I mean, like, how could he after what he did?
Well, I'll say this. So, why am I blanking on the GM's name right now? But
Daryl Morey.
Daryl Morey, thank you. Daryl Morey came out and said earlier this week that basically James isn't going anywhere unless they get either players or draft slots that befit his, basically his level in the league.
Mm-hmm.
So if they don't get that, he'll be a Sixer. So, you know what I mean? I mean, listen, will it get contentious? Could it get ugly? James Harden has enough money to do whatever he wants. So if you can find him, to death. It's not like it's really hurting him.
Right.
I hope that he plays for them. I hope that they can kind of come together and squash everything. But We'll see.
If they can, this team does very well. I love their additions. Mo Bamba's fine. I think he's like, everyone thinks he's been in the league for like 5 years because he has, but he's like 24 years old now.
Yeah.
Same thing with Robert Williams. It's like that athletic build on defense that you need in the East. Like everybody needs a team or a player to guard Giannis. Like if you're not thinking about that, then like, what the fuck are you doing?
At least stay in front of him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And give me I think Sixers might stay right where they're at, 54 wins, maybe 56 wins.
Okay.
They will be the second seed in the East.
Okay. All right. I got that. That's no problem. Big movement on the Cavs, the next team up. The Cavs were 51-31 last year. They added Max Strus, and they added Georges Niang. Tristan Thompson has made a return visit to Cleveland.
Awesome.
And then they subtracted Robin Lopez and Raul Neto.
Wow.
Not Raul. It's not Raul. It's Raul.
Raul. Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I
only know that because he played on the Wizards, and I actually loved Neto when he was on the Wizards. He's like scrappy and a
defensive player that
he's real small, like he's like a JJ Barea type.
Okay.
He's like 6 feet,
can control
5'10",
the offense a little bit.
But plays hard.
Yeah.
Plays hard, will hit big shots.
Got it.
You know what I mean? But we'll have weeks of like, get Neto out of the game.
Yeah.
But when he's on, it's like, let's go, Neto.
Yeah. Okay.
He's one of those kind of players.
He's a spark plug.
Yes.
Okay.
It's sometimes the spark goes out.
And the Cavs actually need that. I watched the Cavs-Knicks playoff game when I went to New York.
Yeah.
I will say this now, bold statement. Donovan Mitchell for MVP, I like it.
Wow.
I don't love it, but I like it. He is that team. He will win over a city like that. He did it last year for Cleveland. This is the year he puts the stamp on it.
Wow. So okay. So you think that you think they're gonna jump?
They're gonna jump the Celtics, and they're gonna be the third seed. Think they're gonna get 55 wins. I think Donovan Mitchell is gonna average 33.
Okay.
And just put the league on notice once again.
Well, I'll say this to that. You know what I mean? Like, listen, this is now his second year there. I'm comfortable. I know what's going on. You know what I mean? I know how to interact with my teammates. My voice in the locker room, it carries more weight now.
Yeah.
That's actually, if you're going to go kind of off script, that's not a bad off script.
Yeah. I always look for players that guy is the team. He is the fuel to the engine. On nights where he's not playing, they will be underdogs by 9 points. On nights where he is playing, on a pick'em game, they're going to get like a majority of the favorites, maybe like -1 or -2. But Donovan Mitchell means that much, so why not?
Yeah. All right. Those New York Knicks last year were the 5th seed. They were 47-35. They added Dante DiVincenzo and subtracted Obi Toppin and Derrick Rose. They needed to also subtract Evan Fournier, but I'm not going to say anything else on that.
Yeah. How much longer do you give the Julius Randle experiment?
Well, listen, you're starting to hear whispers about Joel Embiid going to the Knicks, and that would be my only thing with that proposed trade, because they're talking about Evan Fournier, Julius Randle, RJ Barrett, all of that there, and then a bevy of picks. My only thing is you have to keep RJ Barrett. You have to.
Yeah.
The Nick, listen, Julius Randle, I love him, but for whatever reason, Knicks fans, they just don't like him. I don't know what it is, because every time I watch them, he does well.
He's it's like wherever Russell Westbrook goes, I think he'll permanently have this kind of like
narrative.
If you suck, we are going to treat you like trash.
Yeah.
And you haven't done anything to prove me otherwise. But when you're doing good, like, still be on your toes, because as soon as you start to suck, you're trash again.
Yeah, it's like, you know what I mean? Like that, and that, it's kind of one of my things. You've got to give people range. You know what I mean? Julius Randle has not looked great. I will say that, especially in big moments in playoffs. But he has been the leader of that team, and he has carried that team. You know what I'm saying? You can say what you want about Jalen Brunson, but Julius Randle still was the guy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I think the Knicks get to 50 wins this year. I think the Knicks have a very good team. They should have re-signed Emmanuel Quigley before the season. So now he's going to be a restricted free agent in the offseason, and that could be its own little hornet's nest. Yeah. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm excited to see what the Knicks do this year. Excited to see the Garden continue to come back to life. The NBA is simply better when the Knicks are good.
Yep.
That's not a.
Oh no, it was electric. People. Madison Square Garden for a playoff game. First time I was ever in the building. God damn, man. They know how to put on a show.
That's not fair. That was your first time.
It isn't. I understand. Hey, listen. Spoiled.
I did not ask you. I didn't ever ask you this. So, see, it's a little differently now. It's built differently. They've kind of reconfigured it. Did you feel like it was going to be bigger inside?
Oh, yeah. That building is small AF.
Yeah, it's small. It's small in terms. So okay, so my
corridors are small.
Yeah, yes. Oh my God. So my first time there was it wasn't the Big East tournament. My first time there was the Hoyas versus St. John's.
Okay,
this is Jerome's first year at Georgetown, and it was so funny because Jerome had never been there either. And so when we all got there, everybody that had never played or been to Madison Square Garden was like, this ain't the Garden, because it appears
on the. Are you talking about the outside appearance?
Well, just once you're inside, like when you get inside the actual arena part, not the outside or everything else. You feel like it's so big on TV, like you feel like it's monstrous, but it's very like the way it used to be built. They've kind of shifted it. It used to be built like this, and so it was a very low stadium. The seats, like the upper deck was like not that high. Like it was like I could be basically my brother. We had horrible seats because this is Jerome. He was nobody at this point, and we had horrible seats. And so anytime we were on the road, we actually used to have a banner that was painted that had Jerome's name and like the Georgetown dog and everything. And that was his way of finding us. And he could find us easy in Madison Square Garden because it wasn't that big.
Makes sense.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I would have to go back and look, but it felt pretty large. We were on the Skyrim. Yeah. I see comedians, though, perform, or like any singer, and it looks like, oh, my God, like this is...
So ginormous. Ginormous.
Huge. Ginormous, my
Ginormous. The Nets, George, they were the 6th seed last year, 45-37. They added Dennis Smith Jr., who's on his 37th try within the league. Lonnie Walker, who had a great playoff run last year. Let's see if he can kind of parlay that into a good season. They subtracted a lot of veterans. They subtracted Seth Curry, Joe Harris, and Patty Mills.
Ooh.
How do you feel about the Nets?
I mean, the Nets just lost like everybody that I was confident in keeping them in it. So how do I feel about the Nets? Man, it just sucks to be a franchise that went and ring chased and nothing happened. Like you want to see ring chasing gone wrong, like a couple years down the road, what happens?
Yeah.
Check out the Nets.
Check out the Nets.
It's going to be tough for them to sell season tickets this year. That's for sure. I have them stepping back. I'm a huge fan of the people I let go. Like, to me, those are three people that on any given night could give you 40 points.
Yes.
Like collectively. Like, that's a pretty big, I don't even know. Other than that, I'm glad they added Dennis Smith Jr. Is he? He's everybody in the NBA comes in so young, Josh.
He's probably 20, he's 26.
Is this the time that he's got to step up, or else we stop believing on him, or is it over?
He's been past that.
Got it. Okay.
Because remember, Dennis Smith Jr. was like, he was kind of like I won't say like a D Wade, but he was like an explosive, very electric, was in the dunk contest. He was that kind of a player. And for whatever reason, he just never he's been given chances to be the guy or one of the guys on a team over and over again. It just hasn't happened for him. And there's only so many chances you get at it, especially when you're young. You know what I mean? Now it's basically, you got to come here and be a role guy. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And a part of his role is being exciting. Like, that is a part of who he is. So it's like, hey, bro, you got to give me a highlight a game.
Yep.
Like, that's kind of who you are. Like, you've got to do it. But to your point, the Nets, they've got Ben Simmons, Mikal Bridges, Cam Thomas, Cameron Johnson, Lonnie Walker now, Nick Claxton, Dennis Smith Jr., Dorian Finney-Smith, who's solid, Jalen Wilson, Royce O'Neal. They have a lot of, I don't know.
Yeah, a lot of fringe.
Yeah,
we're going to be in the play-in bubble tournament.
I think they definitely regress for sure. The Hawks, George, they added Patty Mills, but they subtracted John Collins. I don't know.
I love John Collins. I feel like he's been put in a box with that team. It's like they wanted him to be one thing. I loved it when he was playing the pick and roll really well with Trae Young.
Yeah.
But I feel like they went away from that. And they, if I'm not mistaken, converted him into more of like a pick and pop guy.
Yeah, and that wasn't him.
I was like, you looked really good around the rim, dude. Like, yeah. So
I want to say that the Hawks are going to take a step forward. I mean, they have to. Otherwise, it's time to get rid of Trae Young. Mm-hmm. Like, for them to be, because I want to say Trae Young has gotten his money. So they need to be up in that top 5.
Yeah.
They have to be. If they're not, then what are we doing? You know what I mean? Like, it's time to trade him if that's not what you're going to have.
That city of Atlanta is just like right on the verge, but they have like the young star power. Bijan Robinson now, Trae Young. Like, it's a city that's waiting to pop. I think Trae feels it. I love him as a player. I think that archetype actually can lead a team to being 4 to 5 games better than other teams because he's just that much of a playmaker. I see the Hawks taking a step forward.
Okay. All right. Next up, the Miami Heat were 44-38 as the 8th seed made it all the way to the NBA Finals, but they let go of a lot of dudes. They added Josh Richardson and Thomas Bryant. Congrats. But they subtracted Max Strus, Gabe Vincent, Victor Oladipo, and Giannis finally sailed off into
good for him
into pasture. But I mean, Max Strus and Gabe Vincent were that playoff run. Mm-hmm. Both of them had fantastic playoff run. Both of them, really, really made an impact on both sides of the ball. And to lose them, and not get Dame, because remember, that was kind of like, well, we lose him, and then, we got some money, and
we're going to go make a big play.
You didn't get Dame. So you got Josh Richardson?
Yeah.
I don't know. I still think that they will take a step forward from the 8th seed because they're a much better team than that. They had injuries, but I don't think that they're, I don't think people saying them going to the conference finals again. I don't see that.
Yeah, they definitely have the best leader in the league. I think not even LeBron holds this title anymore. I think Jimmy Butler is the best leader in the NBA for his players. So when you have that, you got a shot. And when you got Pat Riley, they're riding so high. You know what I mean? Like, you got the winning time coming out. Pat Riley's feeling good about himself. Relaying it to Jimmy Butler. He's like, one day they're going to make a winning time about us. Am I right? You know what I mean?
You got to win one, Jimmy.
Jimmy, this is very important. All right, let's stop fucking around.
You can't be the almost guys. That's not the way that works.
Good for the plot.
For sure. Next up, the 9th seed, the Raptors were 41-41. They added Dennis Schroeder, Jalen McDaniels, Garrett Temple, Grady Dick, that Dick from Kansas, and they subtracted Fred VanVleet. I don't know. I feel like the Raptors are a solid team. But I also feel like them firing Nick Nurse was a bad call.
They've done this to themselves. It's same with the Celtics. Like, God damn, they just can't fire your coaches like that.
It was a bad call. That was a bad call, especially considering the injuries that they've been dealing with and still playing. Like, listen, they won the championship with Kawhi Leonard. You take Kawhi away and get nothing. That's a hole in your roster. like let's not get that misconstrued as if, we'll be fine and we'll just move it along.
Yeah. Kawhi was good, but have you heard of Pascal Siakam, my friend? This dude's gonna fucking win us a couple of them. No, he's not.
Yeah. Pascal's been solid, but Pascal needs help. I think that they're better than 41-41, but I don't see them being much better than 7.
No, this big regression year for these guys. They're going to be a 30-win team for sure.
Ooh, all right. Yeah. You got them out of the playoffs. Next up, the Bulls. The Bulls were 40-42 last year. They subtracted Pat Bev and Derrick Jones Jr. They didn't really make any additions, so
they were low-key exciting at points last year.
Yeah, but then they're going to have their injuries.
Yeah.
Like, I think at this point, DeMar is going to have his maintenance. And then Zach LaVine, also same thing. Zach LaVine is going to miss time just with, bumps and bruises. They don't have enough to sustain a long run, I don't think.
Yeah.
Now, if they ever get Lonzo Ball back, you know what I mean? Like, they might have a chance, but they're already saying Lonzo's not going to play this year, so it's another lost season.
Is that real? Like,
yeah.
Man.
But he's getting better, though. It's like, because before it was like he might have to retire.
Got it.
So, you know what I mean? But you've lost 3 seasons now. How old is DeMar DeRozan? DeMar DeRozan, like 34 now, moving on. So you kind of missed your moment. Next up, the Pacers were 35-47. They added Bruce Brown, the champion from the Denver Nuggets. Obi Toppin comes back to the Midwest, and they subtracted George Hill and another one of my proteges I've coached, Mr. O'Shea Brissett.
Yeah. Guard?
Guard-ish, guard forward, wing.
Got it. Everyone's a wing now.
Yeah, wing. O'Shea never had the best dribbling bag, and then he got to Syracuse and freaking hulked up. So he's very he was O'Shea when I coached him in high school was very smooth. Like he had like because you got to remember he was kind of from that Vince Carter era, and so he had like Vince's like fadeaway down at like 17, but he wasn't a like a big dunk on you type guy.
Got it.
And then also being Canadian, very calm, reserved. But yeah, I'm very proud of O'Shea. O'Shea's had a great career.
Good on him.
Yeah. I think the Pacers take a step this year. Obi Toppin, I think if given the real opportunity to show what he can do, is going to be a 18 to 22 point scorer in this league consistently. And you give that to, what the Pacers already have, that now gets us into some games that we were losing last year.
Facts. They have one of my favorite shooters, Buddy Hield.
Oh, okay.
Buddy Hield, oh my God. If I was a young kid and I watched what he did at Oklahoma, and then to see what he did, he was playing, did he get added last year? He was with the Kings.
Yes, I want to say, yes, that was last year, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Like mid-season.
Yeah. Damn, the Kings, you fucked up. You could have really used him in the playoffs.
Definitely could have. That might have been the last straw that broke the camel's back in the first round. What do you think? Do you think they go up or go down?
I like to go up. On this one. They will be in a bubble team, and I see them winning it. Indiana loves basketball, so I think they need to fucking revitalize that state a little bit. So
there you go.
Same pressure that Atlanta's under.
My Wizards, Lord, we were the 12 seed. We went 35-47. We added Jordan Poole, Tyus Jones, Landry Shamet, Danilo Gallinari, Mike Muscala, and the rookie Bilal Coulibaly, the Frenchman. Wow. We also subtracted Bradley Beal and Kristaps Porzingis. We're going to be trash this year. I am excited to see the Frenchman. He actually played. He was on the same team as Wembanyama. So I'm excited to kind of see what he can do. He was kind of touted as like a hyperactive defensive guy slasher, has looked good. So I'm excited to see what he does. I am not excited to see Jordan Poole and Kyle Kuzma jack up 40 shots each.
Oh, see, Jordan Poole I just think needs a shot. I think Jordan Poole was tired of playing he riding bitch for Steph Curry, and he knew that he had a similar skill set, except the timing was just off. I think you're going to change your tone about Jordan Poole as the season goes on. I'm calling this now.
Jordan Poole had the keys to the kingdom, and he said, I don't want them. Screw your keys and all of this greatness that I'm surrounded by. I'm out. That's what Jordan Poole said.
That's a dog right there, bro. That's a person like I said, you'll change your tone.
And now he is one of the worst franchises in the league.
Fix this, bitch.
You went from the penthouse to the parking garage.
Yeah, no,
that quick.
The sewers underneath the casinos.
Oh man, so we'll see. I don't think we get 35 wins.
No, that seemed like a lot that you guys got last year.
Yeah, I mean, you know what I'm saying? We had Kristaps. Kristaps had his best season of his career.
And he said, ship him out of here.
Yeah, get him out. We're done. We're going to re-sign Kyle and nothing else. And everybody else can bail. Like, oh, God. Jesus. I don't want to talk about that anymore. That's going to give me heartburn. 13 seed, the Magic. We're 34. George, we're only going to do the Eastern Conference. I can see.
Okay.
We only got time for the East.
Western Conference next week.
We'll do Western Conference next week when I get back from China. The Magic 34-48. Their only real additions really were Jet Howard in the first round, and they lost Bull Ball. What do you think about the Magic this year?
God, you can't get rid of Bull. You know, yeah, the kid is
good.
Yes, the kid has got the length. Like I said, in the East, you need it. And how are they going to sell tickets? Like I think about this, like with dying franchises. This is just to touch a little bit on, like we said, Derrick Henry might get traded earlier. I renege that statement, because how are they going to sell season tickets next year if they don't have them? You had a whole bunch of young stars you're building around, and then you just ship them out.
Yeah.
This is going to be a step back year for the Madge.
They won a lot. 34 wins for that team was a lot.
A lot.
That's a lot of wins. I didn't realize they had gotten that many wins. I think Paolo takes a step forward, but I don't know if Paolo has anything around him. I don't know if there's still enough. They really, really should have went after Austin Reeves. Really. I don't know why they didn't do that in the offseason. That would have made sense. The Hornets, George, were 27-55. Key additions, they added shoot 'em up Brandon Miller, Frank Tilikina, and they subtracted Kelly Oubre and Dennis Smith Jr., and also one jump man. That was the only subtraction.
Yeah. This team. Here's the thing. I could say step forward at 30 wins. They may just shock it. Like how we're saying, oh wow, I'm surprised they got this many. I'm going to say that the Hornets take a step forward. Very small step. They're not in the bubble game, but yeah.
I actually think for them it really depends on health. LaMelo was hurt last year. And if LaMelo plays 70 games,
yeah,
I think they win 40. If he's hurt for a chunk or a bit, like especially early, if he's hurt,
they got a good roster.
Their roster is solid. Their roster is not bad.
Yeah, I mean Miles Bridges good. Gordon Hayward, I'm a fan.
Miles Bridges keeps getting in trouble. Who else?
Frank Ntilikina.
Yeah, Tilikina. Yeah.
Tilikina.
French Frank.
Mm-hmm. Terry Rozier.
They do have Scary Terry. That's true. Who's their other big? I feel like they have
Mark Williams.
No. The
PJ
one that,
Washington.
Yes, PJ. They have PJ, and PJ is still solid. I mean, they have young players that are decent, but it's LaMelo for me. LaMelo makes that team better, and if he's not out there, they're in trouble.
Sells tickets.
Definitely.
Yeah. Final
team, George, the Pistons. They added Asur Thompson, Joe Harris, and they subtracted Corey Joseph. Corey Joseph played at Finley before I got there, so I don't know Corey that well. I've met him a few times, but I don't know. I ain't coach him.
Okay. You ever question, how often would you actually go all out at practice?
Oh, no. With those kids, you didn't have to. They were that dope.
Yeah.
Yeah. You could but they were still kids. That was the thing. They're still 17, 16, 18-year-olds. So you had to remember they were still babies, even though sometimes they were baby Hueys and they're, 6'9" and big dude. But no, you didn't have to get too out of hand unless they played like crap. If they played like crap, you're allowed to get out of hand and be like, no, this is why we're looking like crap because you guys aren't taking it serious.
I was more so talking about like you lacing them up at practice versus some of these big boys.
I played a little bit. I was still younger. I was 30.
So you
30 and I still was decent.
How tight were the laces? Were you like, all right, this is gonna be an extra tightening day?
I'd never ever laced up my shoes that tight. That's not good. My ankles need to breathe a little bit. They need a little room to twist. I don't have no problems.
And that is your Detroit Pistons talk for. I'm just kidding. Marvin Bagley, is he finally gonna like lead a franchise the way that we thought he would at Duke?
Listen, I think the Pistons get into the play-in.
Ooh.
Yeah, the Pistons, if you think about it, the Pistons, here, pull up the Pistons roster. The Pistons.
Bojan Bogdanovic, Alex Burks, Joe Harris.
It's really all on Cade Cunningham. If Cade Cunningham is healthy.
And Cade.
Jaden Ivey takes a step this year because remember he was all the talk last year of the draft. If he can take a step this year, he got hurt last year as well. James Weissman.
Oh wow, I saw.
Like they have a lot of young talent that all it needs is a chance. We're gonna see. I think they definitely take about 3 steps this year. I don't think they're lottery. If they're lottery, they're late in the lottery.
Got it. Yeah, no, I think that's after doing this, Josh, it really helped me get a little bit excited about basketball being back, dude. So when's opening night?
Tonight, the Lakers take on who do the Lakers play tonight? Let me see. I should have had that already.
They play the Nuggets.
Yes, thank you. Lakers play the Nuggets tonight. The Suns play the Warriors tonight. Yeah, there's a few games. Tonight is just Lakers, Nuggets, and Suns, Warriors. Bradley Beal is already out with his back.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I used the Charlie Murphy laughing emoji when I saw that. I was like, ow. Yeah, this is out of hand.
Ow.
Can't be game 1. We're already like, yeah, we're going to rest his back. Like, rest, it's game 1.
Isn't that robbery that these guys get away with? Well, not them, but it's like contractually, you got to put it in there. You're like, you're fucking playing, bro. Like, I don't know how else to put this to you. Like, you're gonna feel bad.
Well, no. See, the thing is, the league and the teams they allow it, and it's really more or less just, I don't know. It's just a different generation. You know what I mean? Our generation, we wanted to play every game, and the reason your dad walks around with a limp, and the reason my dad's over here tired and knees jacked up is because we always played.
Yeah.
You always played. There wasn't no, I'm going to rest it. I'll see. Like, you didn't think about the end. You thought about today.
Mm-hmm.
Like, now there's so much thought about, oh, man, I got to be fresh in June. And it's like, well, what if June don't come?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the mentality switch, I feel like, with today's players. It's a lot of, I'm going to rest and see versus, no, I need to be there today. Mm-hmm. For my team, for my city, like all that kind of stuff. It's just a different mentality.
And when players do that these days, they're like, I can only imagine coaching at like maybe a high school level or college level. Like the kid that actually answers the bell all the time is now the outcast. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The one that's always, he's like, damn, what's wrong with this guy? He's making it tough for us to not rest. We like resting, but this kid keeps working over here. It's like, just know that it's flipped that much.
Yeah.
It's flipped that much.
You're now the weird guy.
Yeah. Oh, this guy works too hard.
Anyway, we'll talk more about it next week. Next week we'll definitely talk about our surprise team, who's going to be this year's surprise team, what team is going to fail to meet expectations. The rookies, we definitely want to talk more about some of the rookies this year. Our second year players, MVP. George, you already gave out your MVP pick.
I gave out that's a George like. That's not a love.
Okay. That's a put some money down, not bet the house.
Right.
Okay. And then we got to talk about who's going to win the championship. So next week when I get back from Hong Kong, technically it's not China, I'm in Hong Kong. I'm out there. I'm gonna try to get some coverage. I'm gonna try to get some footage with Nick Young, So I'm bringing Swaggy P to Hong Kong for the Asian tournament. And so the team is supposed to win. So we'll see.
Gotcha.
So 2 game tournament. And you win, you got 2 games to win. That's it.
Okay.
So Swaggy P will be out there. I'm gonna have shoot around with the American fan with Swaggy P. So
that's dope, dude.
I'm gonna try to do that and ask him some questions, and then I have to run if he is able to answer all my questions without fumbling. He got to run if he has to fumble. If he fumbles a question, so like if he stutters, got to run.
I like this.
So that's what I'm gonna do when I'm out there.
That is gonna be a blast, dude.
Yep.
Make sure you also check out the China Olympic Training Facility.
Where is that? That's in Beijing, I feel.
I was just gonna say for the joke that I'm about to make. I want a shot of you walking into their ping pong facility, and I just want to see like 100 people just like.
Okay, I was about to say, I was like, George, Beijing's not close to Hong Kong. I'm in the south. I'm in the south of the country.
You can make it happen.
Geographically, I don't know if that's going to line up. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in to another episode of the American Fan 365 podcast. Please make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Definitely hit us up. Ask your questions. We'd love to interact with you guys both during live broadcast and off the air. So definitely hit us up, and we'll see you guys next time.